Hey everyone, welcome back to Elijah Talks podcast. I first want to start off by thanking God for the opportunity to turn my laptop on and be able to record another video. And I have a really strong subject in mind, and I don't know why I'm recording it right now, but usually my best podcast episodes come when I just go for it. And once I find a strategic way to approach a certain subject, I'm pretty confident. And so far, it hasn't blown up in my face. So we're gonna try this. So I want to say too, I appreciate you all. Some of you enjoyed that last clip of me and one of my friends. As you can tell, I got a lot of sister friends. It'd be like that. When you grow up, or some guys they don't know that, particularly men. They don't realize that when you grow up with a lot of sisters. I grew up with sisters, like in my family, so mostly girls, and you just get along with women a lot better. It's easy for me, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand that dynamic, which is I'm used to that. But I'm glad you all have enjoyed, that. I'm super excited that she's sharing more of her. She's one of the most talented sisters I know, among so many others, and she graced me with, her help on my album. And so I love my friends. So that being said, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. And sometimes even if you do a lot, you feel very small. Yeah, but it's all good. Um, you know, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. It is easy to feel small even if you've done a lot and feel like it's not worth anything. You have those moments, natural moments, right? But you know, seeing and hearing that it's encouraging and it's blessing and it's all those things. That's why I do those types of things. That's why I cut the camera on, and I could easily enjoy those moments in private, which I have plenty of moments in private that I don't share. But sometimes I like to prop up moments and and share the joy. That's what I get out of it. That's why I prop up the phone, and I like people that like to have fun and can want to share it and post on social media, because sharing joy is important to me, and this is one way to do it. So I'm grateful. But I want to share something with you, a thought process that I think can be very helpful for somebody, and will maybe make sense as to why I'm so confident and willing to step on these platforms and do these things that I do, despite all kind of things, that you may be afraid of. Um, I'll say this. First of all, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We're all flawed. We all have our quirks. We all we all have things like, I often talk about be yourself, lean into what makes you unique. I'm not referring to the bad qualities of who you are, right? Obviously, if there are things that you want to change, if there are bad habits you have, if there are bad habits I have, we want to grow out of those things. But you don't want to ever blur the lines and confuse what makes you at the core unique and what is things about you that you want to change, rightfully so. So understand, nobody is perfect. Some people can perceive you to be perfect because they don't know you and they just watch you through a screen. And we often will highlight the best parts of our lives, and that can make someone misunderstand and think that your life is perfect because what they see. So they just automatically assume that you don't have things going on, which is normal when it comes to viewing a person on a screen and just seeing them through that prism. But take the time to understand that whether you watch someone like myself on here or anybody, anybody, and you don't know them personally, 99.9% of the time they going through stuff just like you, if not worse. But understand this. when you have something worthwhile to share, when you have something worthwhile to say, I'm saying worthwhile because, I'm a proponent of looking at the bigger picture, especially when you know you have talent and gifts and thoughts and substantial things that can help others, that you may want to do. Consider the fact that you don't have to be perfect before you step out there. It is a different type of responsibility, of course, when it comes to showing up on social media, when it comes to making videos and engaging even in in-person things. It is a different responsibility that can't be controlled because that's just the way it works when it comes to representation. This is why, for example, um, you know, how do I put this? You never want to bring some sort of a bad look, on what you stand for. For example, right? So, if I'm a principal at a middle school, right, and our middle school stands for kindness, love, compassion, and inclusivity, right, where everybody has a voice, everybody has an opinion, everyone is free to express themselves, right, all those types of things. And then I'm going out and about, treating people horribly, cussing people out, beating people up, fighting, getting into violent actions. If I'm getting in those moments and that, is kind of broadcasted, then whether or not that was a bad or difficult moment, the public doesn't care, right? Most people are not looking into, well, what led up to that? Or most people are not thinking about, well, what's going on with them mentally that caused them to make a human moment like I would, right? Because the difference between, say, a person like the principal and a regular person on the street is they both, 9 times out of 10, are engaging in the same thing. But one person is given more responsibility because of the sake of representation. So my point being is that even though that is true, there are always variables and there's always different angles that you have to look at things from. And the thing, in my view, that makes people so scared of doing sometimes and engaging in things, maybe publicly or on a social forum, is, they may have flaws, or they may be very hard on themselves about how people will perceive them, right? A good example, growing up, I was bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot for the way I speak and the way I act and the way I dressed, the way I write, the way I spoke, all kind of things. And for a long time, I was self-conscious about it. But at the same time, I know myself better than anybody did, right? And I know, especially now as an adult, I know why I am the way I am, and I know why I should love what makes me me versus versus loving, my flaws and things like that. So because I know how to separate caring about how people see me versus making sure I'm showing up authentically and the best way I know how, that's where my strength really sits at. Because now I'm able to reach whoever I am meant to reach, right? So for example, if I have 50 people that are watching my videos and 49 of them look at me and say, I don't feel comfortable watching this. I don't know what this is about. Okay, but if that one person can see through that and understand the core of what I'm trying to say, or they just understand and appreciate what I'm doing, minus including that they think to themselves, well, I don't care about all that. This is some real good, valuable stuff I'm getting. That one person is worth it to me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm painting this picture, using myself as an example, trying to take different routes to really let you know, yeah, it is important to try your best to represent yourself and what you represent the best way you can. But even if you do, you're not going to always win. Because one thing about people, people most of the time find the worst parts about a person and they highlight that, right? And what people don't consider is that when they watch people show up on social media and whatnot, you know, most of the time we don't hold ourselves to any sort of standard because we're all human beings, right? I was even telling someone the other day, actually, it was a great question. We had this conversation, and I hope she watches this, um, or because it's like, and I've talked to my older sister about this before, that I don't mind speaking about subjects that even I may fall into. You get what I'm saying? That's the kind of, because what people don't know about me and some other people is that when you reach a certain level of self-actualization and self-honesty, you really, as corny as it may sound, you really don't care what people assess about you because you already faced realities nobody knows about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. And when you face yourself and you know yourself thoroughly, then now you walk with a different kind of a confidence. That's what I wanted to bring to you, is that when you take away from society the ability to make you feel about yourself a way that you should not feel, because people are like that. I don't mean to be a bummer. You do have some people out there that will encourage you to be the best you can be, and that we love you and we appreciate what you. Some people even with me, this is why I don't. A lot of you really should make a habit of telling people thank you. If you show up on social media, you ought to make it a habit to tell people more often that you appreciate their time. Because people don't have to watch what you post. People don't have to watch what you're saying. People don't have to listen to your music. But you ought to tell them that you appreciate them, whether they're somebody or nobody. And that's why that's important to me, is because I know that most people are not forgiving. Most people are not kind. Most people will drag what you have done till you're in the grave, God forbid. They won't let it go. You just have to already prepackage that and just just have that in the back of your head, because people just don't. It doesn't matter if they find out good about you or if they find out bad about you. That bad stuff will always stick a little bit more to the wall than the good. You can do one little good thing. Oh, okay. Wonderful. Let you do something bad. End of the world. Never the same. That's because it is human nature to be judgmental, to lack mercy. And mercy is bigger than just forgiving. Mercy is in how you make a person feel, because some people, when they think about when people do them wrong, they only can think about how they feel. They don't think about, how do I make does the other person know and feel like I have moved on or I have forgiven them? But most people are selfish, you know what I'm saying? So I really want to just, if I can hit home for you with anything, I don't know what your goals are, I don't know what your ambitions are, but understand something. All you can do is the best you can do, because you can be a stand-up guy, you could be a stand-up sister that does all the right things, that looks all the right ways, that never gets involved with the wrong people, and never makes the mistakes, never get caught doing this, never get caught doing that. But at the end of the day, do not let anybody make you live imprisoned. You understand? This goes for me and for you. I'm sharing with you some resolves that I have already come to because I don't want to wait till it's too late to share this with you, but I want to share it with you now. And read into it as you will, but you know, whatever what I'm saying is still solid advice. And so listen to this and reflect on yourself. If you're listening to this and you're just zooming in on me, you're missing the whole point, But listen to what I'm saying at the core and really think about, is that what he meant by fear is holding me back? Some of you, not everybody. Some people are just scared because they're scared. And then there are some people on social media, they're scared because circumstances, because of their life, because of their past and stuff like that, or whatever. But understand, you have one life to live, and to me, you know, knowing that somebody else can draw strength or feel empowered or feel beautiful or feel encouraged or feel some strength from the songs I can share or from the little nuggets of advice that I can offer, that makes it worth it to me to ignore all the noise and what people might say and what people might do and what might happen. And you can't control what may happen, but you can control how you decide to navigate it. Because I want to really make sure you really keep this in mind, because some people are very naive. A lot of you tend to be very, very naive. You cannot, obviously you can't trust everybody, but at the same time, you don't want to overdo it, because if you imprison yourself, like I believe that, to follow Christ, you have to be in a bondage, right, to the flesh and whatnot. But you can't. Why shackle yourself more than you have to be? Like, we already are fighting sin and fighting the flesh and fighting the will of the carnal mind and all these things, but in ways that you don't have to be tied down, especially by just people's opinions. And yeah, even with friendships, this is one of the reasons why I often talk about friendships, because it's a subject people don't want to talk about, because they know that they may be unpopular by sharing certain views with people that they're around. I know what it's like to be alone, and I know what it's like to be around friends that treat me with love. And so that's why I feel a freedom to talk about the things that I talk about, and I don't fear retribution from my friends, because I know that if someone is my friend and I'm speaking of something that is true and it doesn't pertain to them, it won't change their views about me. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to understand, please, dearly understand, it is wise to approach things with caution, for sure. Because I myself, there are certain things I'm just not going to do, because, or I'm not gonna present, or I'm gonna do my best to present properly, because I aspire to be a good representation. I'm not going to get it right every single time. I'm not, and I don't expect never to be corrected. But notice how that doesn't stop me. Notice how that doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me, not because I don't know how to pay attention, but because I do. And because I know my purpose and I know where my passion is. You see what I'm saying? So please, 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 please stay encouraged and reevaluate your ambitions. Because a lot of times you start sketching plans, you start making plans, say, oh, this would be cool. Oh, and then you start, oh, I don't know, because I'm gonna stay mysterious, because it's better to stay low key. Some people, everybody don't have the same calling. Everybody don't have the same goals, which is okay. It doesn't make you good or bad, nothing like that. I'm just talking to the people specifically that know they have specific ambitions, but they stop themselves because of things like what I described, the fear of retribution, the fear of the unknowns, and the what could happen, and what people would think, what people would find out, and what people would say. If something is going to happen, let it be from a place of innocence that you have done the best you could, because whether or not you run from things, if it's the will of God that you are put through a trial, you're going to be put through it. Obviously don't chase after a trial if you don't have to, but sometimes you do the best you can and it's still not good enough to stop certain things. So don't let things like that scare you out of living. Um, because you don't, why do that to yourself? If you're going to be stopped, don't let it be you stopping you. Fair enough? I appreciate that. I hope you got something out of that. I feel like I just kind of went for that one, but I'm just trying to help. And I think I did a good job, right? Didn't hurt anybody's feelings or anything. But yeah, I thought this was important. I mean, I could go so much further into this subject, but I'll stop for now. But I appreciate you, the few of you that take consistent time to listen at what I have to say, because I'm not just coming on here for attention or for some soundbite. I really do want to be a help. If I heard some people saying this stuff, I probably wouldn't say it. I probably would just sing. But I think I do a fairly good job with God's help, to articulate these things. And if I said something that I could say better, I'm sure I'll come to that understanding eventually, God willing. But I'm open to that. That's the beauty of that too. I'm open to being corrected, but the one thing I never want to do is be stubborn in a way that I shouldn't be, especially. So, you have a good night. But I appreciate you for listening if you have. Stay tuned for this newest single, You Can Make It. I'm really looking forward to it. It is a song of hope and encouragement that can really impact you and help you through those really, really hard days, because we all need a song like that, that can let you know that you lean on God. He's the one that can make us strong. So I appreciate your time. God bless you.